So if you want to look at why women are getting so bad, have a look at the men in that society, because they set the tone. Without them realizing, they set the tone. Like, there's an enjoyment in being able to feed not just the men but everybody. But here there's a lot of resentment towards that. I notice in Dubai, because they've got a lot of access to nannies, what happens is the women completely don't do anything for their man, and they have all these nannies cooking and cleaning, and the man still craves his wife cooking for him, or his wife ironing, or his. I know it sounds silly, but it's what they like.
It's true.
It's just like how we like, even if we're making a lot of money, we still want our man to pay for the dinner. Like, we still like it because it's our need. For men, they still desire a woman that will cook and look after them because it makes them feel loved. In Dubai, what happens is they get all the nannies and they can't remember the last time they touched, made a sandwich for their husband. And then they wonder why their husband feels resentful. Yeah, because he starts to think, I'm creating this life for both of us. You've got nannies, you've got a driver, and you don't even get me a cup of coffee in the morning. I'm trying to make your life easier, but you don't do anything to make my life easier.
Because, men, they want a little bit of something.
They don't say it as well. They don't say it. And especially when kids come, they get jealous of, like, how much attention now goes to the child.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. She's just with the kids, and she's just all day, every day with the kids, and they get jealous. I always say to men who come to me and they're saying, I'm thinking about leaving my wife for my mistress. And I always say, your wife is a package and your mistress is a person. She comes with kids, shared memories, your families know each other. It's an entire package. Are you going to be okay with losing that for your one person? Because you're going to wake up and you're not going to hear the pitter-patter of your kids running down and fighting with each other, or you're going to be with this woman and your mum isn't going to call to see how she is doing, and all of these things that are a package when you're with a person for a long time. Are you sure you want to throw that away for one brand new person? Because they can't fill that void. And then they think about it and then they realise that they were actually just chasing a bit of attention.
Yeah, because you don't realise that actually men need a lot of attention.
Oh, babies. They're babies. They're just tall babies, but they pretend that they don't. They mask it. They're like, I don't care. No, I'm fine. But they crave it. And instead of saying it, they seek it.
Yeah.
When all you have to do is express it. And of course, she's got two hands. She might be busy and she might not be able to meet your needs. And some women are really difficult about that. They just think, well, get over it. But we don't just get over it. We have to try. This is how relationships work. You have to try. And so the women that think, get over it, like, I've got kids, get over it, it's a slow suicide for their marriage. But the women that think, maybe I need to, get back on track with you, they tend to save their marriages.
Yeah.
Praise be to God. Look at your view. Like, look at the dopamine when you look at your view and stuff. This is what Dubai is like. Every day is pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. So what happens is the brain starts to seek pleasure rather than peace. And when men or women, when they meet someone peaceful, they label it as boring. And they're always seeking somebody who gives them some form of pleasure or dopamine. And the best person that gives you dopamine is a toxic attachment. What happens with a toxic attachment is you get preoccupied with that person. You're thinking about them. Where are they? Why haven't they called? Blah, blah, blah. And that toxic attachment, they mislabel that as love. And it's just preoccupation. So they forget to look for peace. They consider somebody where it's boring, simple, monotonous. They consider that boring. Life gets boring.
Yeah.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People are constantly thinking, but my marriage has gotten boring. How do I change it? Well, how do you change it? Maybe you need to change your mindset and accept that life gets boring. You know what? My honest advice, I always say this to people, is of course it gets monotonous and difficult, but when you meet somebody, girl or guy, who kind of accepts that life gets a bit boring and understands that not every day is pleasure, but more so wants intimacy, connection, and stability rather than excitement, you're onto a marriage. Because that's what marriage is. It's not, you habituate to your partner, you get used to them. And people that seek stability and monotony, if you look at your parents' lifestyle and the ones that have lasted so many years, there's very little excitement. It's duty. It's duty, stability, predictability that they look for in the relationship, and that's what they strive for. They don't actually look for pleasure seeking and excitement. And I think when the relationship loses its excitement, we assume it's lost its love.
Yeah.
But really it's lost its novelty. And novelty is only available in new relationships. So what happens is people are craving the feeling in new relationships rather than enjoying the stability of existing relationships. And it's how society's conditioned us. I remember when I was a kid watching TV, I'd have to sit through adverts and be bored through the adverts, or even in the cinema, I'd be bored in the adverts. But now there's no time for boredom. It's like, quick, watch the next thing, 3-minute video. We don't create a culture of boredom or monotony or patience. We create pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. And as a result, that translates into real life. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and she's really, really bright. And we were talking about how they're going to invent flying cars. And she's like, we can save so much time, like no traffic. And I said, I know, but traffic is the only time where I'm forced to be patient. And I think I need it because I've got ADHD. I'm so impatient. Traffic is the only time I've got no control. I have to be patient. If we remove the parameters that create patience in society, in relationships, we become zero tolerance. And that's why I say society trickles down into relationships. It's not, you can't divorce the two. So what goes on society will be manifested in your relationship. So if we have a relationship with society where Amazon Prime, you get something straight away, or something like cheap clothes, so you throw them out, or whatever it is, you replace, that becomes a culture in your relationships as well. So one small thing, quick, let's get rid of it and start again. And that's the culture.